Hi friends, Jenna here. I am going to go through and show you exactly how to use the makeup and the brushes that you've ordered from me. Let's just go ahead and jump right in. First thing I'm doing is I like to take my detail brush, which is kind of the weird shaped brush. I use the flat, more square end, and I kind of dip the corner into my contour, and I like to just kind of start by sculpting out my cheekbone. So I don't go in the hollow of the cheek. I just kind of press it right up on the bottom half of the cheekbone, okay? And then from there, I like to kind of carve out my jawline. And so I just kind of place that right outside or right underneath the line of sight where your jaw is, and that'll just create more of an angular jaw, get rid of any double chin, anything that, you know, us ladies hate. And then you see me put it under my lip just to kind of define the lip a little bit more. And then I kind of start right in the center of my forehead along my hairline and basically make like a rainbow back and forth across my forehead, along my hairline there. Okay, and then I'm just kind of blending everything downward on my forehead. All right, next thing I'm doing, I'm taking the bigger end of the buff brush. That's kind of the real small, dense looking brush. And I'm dipping into my main highlight shade, and I'm basically just going to gently kind of buff this in to all the other areas that I did not put my contour shade. So I just kind of get the product in place first, and then I just really blend it out. That's the number one tip I can give you, is to start with just a little bit of product and add from there. That's probably the number one mistake I see with people starting out with this makeup, is they just use way too much and they feel like their face is wet and sticky and it's sliding on their face, it's not staying on, and it just is looking cakey. So if you're dealing with any of those, you're probably just using way too much product. So start with a tiny little bit. You'll get the color payoff and the coverage that you need by just using a little tiny bit and adding from there. Next thing, I'm just contouring my nose. I'm using the flat edge of the detail brush, and I just pick up a little bit of my contour. I put 2 lines right down the center of my face, and then I just flip my brush around and blend it out. Here, you'll see me use the small end of that detail brush. I picked up a little bit of my brightening highlight shade, and I'm just placing that on the inner and outer corners of the eyes. I like to really work it all the way into the inner corner up into the eyelid. I just feel like that really brightens the center of the face and makes it, you know, really attracts the attention to your eyes. And then I put a little bit right down the center of my nose, just right in between that contour shade that I put, and that'll just bring a little bit more brightness. Sometimes I'll put it on the upper part of my lip and my chin as well. And then here I'm using that same small end of the detail brush to just contour my lips. Next thing, I move to my, the big fluffy brush. It's called the blush and bronzer, excuse me. And I picked up just a little bit of my bronzer. I'm just doing a very light airbrushing motion on the outer corners of my forehead, into the temple, and then the cheekbones. And I kind of blend the rest of that contour out on my cheekbones with my blush and bronzer brush. I also like to put it on the neck just to warm everything up, and a little bit right in the center of my nose. So basically, this is just bringing warmth to the face, anywhere that the sun would naturally hit kind of the high points of your face, to give you that natural tan, that natural glow that we all love. Okay, next I flipped to the small end of the blush and bronzer brush, and I picked up a little bit of my lip and cheek. I start out by the temple, and I just kind of work my way in. I try to avoid the apples of my cheeks because that just brings more roundness and fullness to the face. So I try to really just keep it on the highest point of the cheek, kind of to the middle and up into the temple area. That's my best suggestion for blush. And then I just use my finger, and I pick up a little bit of my illuminator shade. I place that right on the highest point of my cheeks, down the center of the nose and the cupid's bow. This just gives that really, really pretty extra shimmer and extra glow to the face. And then you see me here, I'm just dipping right back in with my finger into my lip and cheek shades, the same colors that I put on my cheeks, and I just put it right on my lips. And then I go right back in with the small end of the detail brush. I pick up a little bit of my Vanilla Dust setting powder, kind of set the inner and outer corners of my eyes and the T-zone, and then any blemishes is where you want to set. Some of my customers might not have been recommended vanilla dust if you have kind of more of a dry complexion, so just keep that in mind. And then what you can do from there is just take a little bit of either your brightening highlight or your main highlight shade, just a tiny bit on the small end of that buff brush, and just kind of sculpt out and clean up the bottom of your contour. And then here you can see me, what I'm doing is I'm just redefining with just a tiny bit more contour under my cheeks. And ladies, that is it. I really hope this helps. Please keep in mind, this is a totally new way of doing makeup, so there is a little bit of a learning curve. So just stick with it. You'll figure out what works best for you. But it's so worth it. This makeup just gives the most beautiful glow to the complexion. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Do not hesitate to call, text, email, message me on any social media platform, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Also keep in mind, I'm always posting new tutorials and videos, tips and tricks on how to use this makeup on all of my social media platforms. So stay tuned there, and thanks so much for watching. Again, I hope this helps.